Good morning, welcome to Bitcoin Bounce. My name is Joseph and I'm here with Dion. And so both of us are discussing this morning the latest video that Steve from Crypto Crew University has posted about where we are on Bitcoin. And he said for the first time in 12 years, Bitcoin went out of that range. He's got a channel that he draws and he shows Bitcoin is below that range. And what is going to happen? Is Bitcoin going to just giving us a fake out right now and start to dump? Or is Bitcoin going to sit in that range? He's got this theory that he says for Bitcoin to be able to do a long rally, it needs to have a good base and a great foundation. So that means Bitcoin has to go sideways for quite a while. So Dion, I want to ask you a technical question. Tell me, if you just think about the next 2 to 3 months, what would you say would be the range that Bitcoin will trade in over this next period?
So this is what Steve's looking at, is this 21 and the 200. So the angle of attack is quite steep. So it could be that it just breaks out under this, that it maybe just breaks out and then sideways and then up again. But I don't foresee, I think like in the past, we're going to actually just have a bounce here and start going up. I don't see that we're going to actually go much lower. Looking at the levels though, maybe if we go to the daily and we use the CPR, which is historically proven to be very, very accurate. So the CPR levels at the moment for this month is this is like the mid-range. So if we had to target the upper resistance level, and that quite often on the CPR, if you start going up, that quite often gets hit. So the second resistance here is at 27. That might be a bit over optimistic, but if we go to last month's level, that's around about 25,000. So I think that would be very accurate. And the first resistance or support level at the bottom of the CPR is also normally very, very strong. And you see, even these past few weeks when we wanted to come back down here, we got rejected quite far from that already. So this is like at the 18,000 level. So this is what I would recommend, no lower than 18,000. To be honest, I would actually make that quite a bit higher. I can't even see us going under 20. So I personally, just my opinion, would be between 20 and 25. I think that range is where we would be trading.
Okay, so let's jump in and listen to Steve as he explains to us what the long-term plan is for Bitcoin.
We cover the largest moves in crypto, and this is a chart that I don't think anybody has explained to you yet, and it's getting very, very interesting. What it is in 2015 and in 2019, we came very, very close to crossing the two most infamous moving averages in charting. Okay, you have the 21 MA and you have the 200 MA. They've never crossed before. They've come fascinatingly close. Back in 2015, they almost crossed, but they didn't. And they came fascinatingly close in 2019. They almost crossed, but they didn't. In fact, right when they were about to cross, they had a major rally, which helped avoid this cross from happening. You could see that as this yellow line was coming down, about to cross, boom, we had a major rally, which brought us way above this yellow line, which helped us avoid the cross completely. So as we stand here today, with this cross about to happen, is Bitcoin going to have an enormous rally above this yellow line to avoid this cross? Or is Bitcoin for the first time ever going to have this bearish cross? Is Bitcoin going to have the major rally, or are we going to cross down? There's some clues. For example, when you go down here and you look at what was the closest point in here at this pivot point here, was roughly about 10%. And then we got a little bit closer once we bottomed and we were on our way back up, which was about 5%. So this was about 10% when we were coming in hot, and it was about 10% gap, meaning 10% from this line to this line. And when you look at where we're at now, we're a little bit less than 10% as we speak, but we're about to print a new candle, which will update this chart in a few days. So we're about 8% now, and we're coming in hot, right? Bitcoin would literally have to rally up above this level, which is at about 25K, just to avoid this type of a cross. But what would this type of a cross do to Bitcoin long term? What it would do is something similar to this chart. For Bitcoin's entire 12-year history, we've played the game in between these two yellow lines. We had a top yellow line and a bottom yellow line, and about 99% of price action, 99.9, has happened inside of here, meaning we didn't play outside of these rules. And for Bitcoin's entire history, we bounced from the bottom of the channel back to the top of the channel, to the bottom of the channel, back to the top of the channel. And then recently, Bitcoin has not been playing by the rules. We did not have a traditional top to the market because of this cycle here. This was an A, B, C correction, and this cycle was not supposed to happen. We were supposed to have a traditional bottoming cycle like this one. Bitcoin got too bullish. We said on our channel time and time again, everybody said, oh, this is when we're going to 100K. We said, not so fast. We called for the top of this cycle at 14K. We always cover the largest moves in Bitcoin. And by the way, if you followed our channel back here, we called for a legendary rally. You can go watch the video. We called it a legendary rally is coming. We rallied all the way up here, and then we called for the top of the market to be at 14K because of a Great Stone Doji candle. And then we came down here. This was not a sustainable run. This was an ABC correction. And because of that, it threw a wrench into the next market cycle. We did not build a strong foundation for the next bull run. This is a strong foundation, which is why the bull run was so strong. This is a strong foundation, which is why the bull run was so strong. We need to now be focused on our strong foundation. Bitcoin cannot have a rally, up to this level at 45K. I know everybody would be incredibly excited. That would be devastating to me because the next bull run would be a mess. We need a strong foundation, and we have to create that over the next 3 to 6 months in order to have a very strong, healthy next bull run, right? So what we see happening here is because of this rally that was not sustainable, we had this correction, which was also not sustainable, and then we tried to rally out of that in a bull run, which was not sustainable either. So we didn't have any healthy foundation to build off of for any of these moves, which is why we had this top here, and which is why you see price action below this yellow line for the first time ever. Again, 99% of the price action happening in between here, not anymore. This is likely a trend that we won't see for the next 10 years. We will have to reevaluate this, and we will have to adjust the mathematics of this. But for the next 10 years, we will not play inside of this channel. We will have to draw a channel that's slightly lower. By slightly, I mean much lower, so that we can fit price action in for the next 10 years, okay? The reason is that this whole cycle, which played out over the course of 3 or 4 years, was unorthodox and not healthy, and that will affect the next couple cycles, okay? So with that said, with us playing below this level, and at the same time with the RSI playing below a level that has historically been our support, boom, support 2015, boom, support 2019, now it's resistance, all right? So we're playing a completely different game. And I would also say this, in our next bull run, we cannot expect Bitcoin to reach up to this high in the 90 level. You can see we had a high, a lower high, another lower high, expect another lower high. I mean, we'll be lucky to get up to 85 on the monthly chart in a couple of years from now in the highest of our bull run. I think just because of this, we have major resistance above our head. It's going to take some muscle to get above that, as well as this major resistance of this yellow line. And again, just the next 10 years of Bitcoin will be slightly different than the first 10 years of Bitcoin. So with that said, it would be not surprising if we had this cross through here for the first time ever. I think this is the cycle that it happens. If it doesn't happen this cycle, it's probably going to happen in the next cycle, but it might happen in both. It might happen this cycle and in next cycle. The only way, like we said, to avoid it is for us to rally all the way above here, which it would be 25K just to get above here. We would have to rally up to 30, 32K just to avoid this, given the trajectory we're on. So that's where we stand right now. I wanted to give a couple takes if the bull run is going to start, or the bear market has more legs, or the bottom is not in. These are the questions you're probably wondering. I've addressed this in probably every video for the past 80 days, but I'll address it again. Where do I stand? I think the big picture is this chart right here. Right now in Bitcoin, if you look at the price of Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is right now is one of the 5 best buying opportunities of Bitcoin's life. Not up for debate. That's not up for debate. What is up for debate is if the bottom is in or not. We can debate that, and there are arguments on both sides. What's not up for debate is Bitcoin has been in 4 distinct golden zones in its entire life. This is the 4th one we're in right now. There's only been 3 others. These are very short-lived. Sometimes we're down here just for a few candles. Sometimes it's a little bit more. But make no mistake, we're knee-deep in the golden zone. Bitcoin has the most selling pressure that we've ever seen in Bitcoin's entire history. Case in point right here in the monthly RSI. And with those 2 factors, this is one of the best buying opportunities of Bitcoin's history. Case in point. One of the 5 best buying opportunities of Bitcoin's life. That's the key. And hopefully that's a wake-up call to you. If you are waiting for lower prices, it's irrelevant if Bitcoin goes lower. This is one of the 5 best. If it does go lower, it will be one of the best, top 1 or 2, maybe 3rd place ever. So should you buy Bitcoin right now? You should. This is not financial advice, but just look at this chart, look at the facts that are in front of you. It's undeniable.
Right, awesome. Thank you. That was an awesome video, and I sure hope this gives you some hope. Steve believes the bottom is in, and so it means if the bottom is in, then it means that every time it's a dip from right now, we need to start buying, and we are actually technically now in a bull market. Now you must understand now, it takes a coin usually to go up about 40% before people start saying in the mainstream media, oh, we're in a bull market. But remember, bull market really starts from the moment the bottom is in, then that's when the bull market is in. So I want to suggest every time there's a dip in Bitcoin, there's a dip in Ethereum, that is a possible opportunity to DCA into Bitcoin. Tell me, Dion, as you're gonna accumulate your Bitcoin, what is your strategy? How are you gonna buy your Bitcoin during this bull market?
Yeah, I think any available funds that you have, always keep a bit on the side for that potential next low that you never know if it's coming or not. But gradually just buy on the RSI, say on the RSI 4-hour chart, whenever we hit 30, then is a good buying opportunity. Just keep on buying. If you've got 100 Rand, just do 25, 25, 25. But just get some kind of a plan that you can monthly allocate or weekly allocate and buy. Or just buy whenever you can, no matter what the level. If you get odd money that you can spend on crypto and leave there for potentially a year or so, then put it in. But I would just gradually just ladder in, just always ladder in, not all at once. Yeah, so just keep on buying in with a plan.
Yeah, so I took 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, and I counted every time there's a big dip. I'm not talking about a small dip, more than 15% dip on Bitcoin, and I saw on average there's a dip about every 6 weeks. I remember when we were in the bull run and we were trading, and then we just keep on buying, and then when we hit that top, then we keep on buying, and then all the coins fall. And then we realized there's actually a rhythm. We must wait for certain buying times, and then there's certain times where you can't just sit on your hands and you wait a little bit. So that's why RSI is an excellent indicator. Put the RSI on your 4-hour chart and on your daily chart. And then you go, every time it dips below that 30, just look at it. If you want to go to an hourly RSI, then you probably want to look for a low on an RSI and then just one higher low. And then at that moment, then you can go eat and buy. Awesome. Thank you, Dion. This was some good information today. We're going to be back again tomorrow to look at Bitcoin again. Have a wonderful day, and I really hope you make a lot of money during this bull run.
Cheers, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.